Hello friends, welcome to the live session, the quiz time. The topic for today is Introduction to Computer, the second live session on this topic. And in this topic, the questions are mainly on the computer generations, like we have generations from 1 to 5, first generation computers, second generation computers, third generation computers, fourth generation, and fifth generation computers, and some of the history of the computers. What is the first computer name? What is the technology used in the first computer? So those type of questions are covered in this topic. Introduction to computer topic. We can wait 2 more minutes. Few members may join. Let's start the session. The question is, the first computer which provides the storage is dash. The first computer which provides storage is dash. Option A, EDSAC. Option B, EDVAC. Option C, Mark 1. Option D, ACE. You can guess the correct answer. The first computer which provides storage is dash. If you know the correct answer, you can please write the answer in the chat box. What is the correct answer for this? You can please give your answer in the chat box. The first computer which provides the storage is dash. Can we see the answer? The answer is EDSAC. EDSAC. EDSAC stands for Electronic Delay Storage Automatic Calculator. Okay. The abbreviations also sometimes important. Electronic Delay Storage Automatic Calculator. Automatic Calculator. Okay. This EDSAC was named because based on the working principle. E stands for here electronic because it used electronic components. Delay storage because it is used delay lines for memory storage. Automatic calculator because it could run programs automatically, and because it performs the calculations, it is automatic calculator. Electronic delay storage automatic calculator. So basically here we are able to see delay storage, the first computer which provides the storage. EDSAC, the correct answer. EDSAC. Okay. EDSAC was one of the earliest computer that introduced the concept of stored programs. It means the instructions and data could be stored in the memory instead of being rewired every time. Before that, that technology is not there. That is the first type of technology introduced, EDSAC. Okay, let's go to the second question, 22nd. Name the first general purpose electronic computer. Name the first general purpose electronic computer. Options are ADVAC, option B ADSAC, option C ENIAC, option D EDVAC. You can please select the correct option. If you know the correct answer, you can please give your answer in the chat box. I will make the live session as less as possible because too much delay is also it's not good in my perspective. So I don't want to waste much time of the learners as well. I will give sufficient time for each question. Then let's move to the next question. Okay. The first general purpose electronic computer. Let's see the answer. C. ENIAC. This is the correct answer. ENIAC. So it stands for electronic, okay, electronic numerical integrator and computer. Electronic, okay, electronic, numerical, integrator, integrator and computer. Okay, this is the first general purpose computer. It was first fully electronic general purpose computer capable of solving different types of problems. Okay, this is the first general purpose computer capable of solving different types of problems. Earlier machines were either mechanical or designed for specific tasks only. Okay, before to this, there are some machines, those are either mechanical or designed for only specific tasks. Okay, question number 23. Computer size was very large in which generation computers? Okay, computer size was very large in which generation of computers? Option A, first generation. Option B, second generation. Option C, third generation. Option D, fourth generation. Computer size was very large in which generation of computers? Option A, first generation. Second generation. Option B. Option C, third generation. Option D, fourth generation. If you know the correct answer, you can please give your answer in the chat box. Okay. Shall we see the answer? Answer is A, the first generation. The first generation computers used vacuum tubes which were very big and consumed a huge space. Mostly, this type of first generation computers occupied the entire room, making them very large in size. So, very big computers. The first generation computers are very big computers. Almost they will occupy a room, okay, one room. But nowadays, if you see the computer, it's very portable. Even you can see palm top computers. You can keep in the pockets also. But the first generation computers are very big in size. Okay, just this question is about the size of the first generation computers. Okay, let's move to the next question. Question number 24. First generation computers were based on what type of technology? Option A, transistors. Option B, conductors. Option C, ICs. Option D, vacuum tubes. So I think a statement I have given similar to this in the previous question. Based on that, you can easily guess the answer. The first generation computers were based on what type of technology? Because the first generation computers are using this kind of technology, it take large space. So like that I told in the previous question. Very simple question. If you know the correct answer, you can please give your answer in the chat box. Let's see the answer. Answer is option D, vacuum tubes. Vacuum tubes were the first main electronic components used in the first generation computers. Okay. So these are the first electronic components used in the first generation computers. They helped in signal amplification but produced a lot of heat and consume more power. Okay, these vacuum tubes provides or produces more heat and it require more power. Also, to store such kind of first generation computers, we need a large space. As I mentioned, it it occupies almost a room. Okay, the correct answer is D. Okay, let's move to the next question. Question number 25. Computer built before the first generation computer was dash. Computer built before the first generation computer. Options are mechanical, option B electromechanical, option C electrical, option D electronics. Computer built before the first generation computer. If you know the correct answer, you can please give your answer in the chat box. Computer built before the first generation. Let's see the correct answer. Electromechanical. Answer B. Electromechanical. So before the fully electronic computers, machines used the combination of electronic, okay, electronic plus mechanical parts. So before the usage of this electronic computers, we have electronic plus mechanical. It's called electromechanical. These are the type of computers we have. We can also call this as Mark 1 computers. Okay, Mark 1 computers. So later we have now only the electronic computers. Okay, remember this point. Electromechanical computers are used before the fully electronic computers. Okay, let's go to the next question. Question number 26. First generation computers used in DOS languages. Means the first generation computers are using which kind of language? What is the language used by the first generation computers? First generation computers used dash languages. Whether it is using, okay, whether it is using the machine level language, whether it is using the assembly language, it is using high level language, and none. What is the language used in the first generation computers? Let's see the correct answer. Answer A. Machine language consists of zeros and ones. The machine language contains only zeros and ones, which are directly understandable by the computer. Okay, zeros and ones can be directly understandable by the computer. And the first generation computers are not supporting the high level languages which we are currently using now. High level or assembly level programming languages. First generation computers are not using such kind of high level or assembly level languages. So the correct answer is machine language. Okay. So let's go to the next question. Question number 27. Speed of first generation computer was in dash. It's about the metrics. How the first generation computers were used the computation of speed. Option A, nanoseconds. Option B, milliseconds. Option C, nanomilliseconds. Option D, microseconds. Speed of first generation computers was in which type of metrics? If you know the answer, you can please give your answer in the chat box. Let's see the correct answer. Option D, microseconds. Operations in the first generation computers were performed in the microseconds, which is slower compared to the modern computers. The modern computers are using nanoseconds. The current generation, the speed is calculated in nanoseconds. This is also very important difference you have to know. It is something like the difference between the old technology and new technology. The old computers are using the microseconds, and the latest computers are using nanoseconds. Okay, please note this point. Maybe the competitive exams they will ask what is the speed of the current generation computers measured in what? Nanoseconds. Correct answer. Okay, fine. Let's go to the next question. It's a standard question. The period of the second generation computer was. The period of the second generation computer was in which duration? What is the duration of the second generation computers? Because it is a standard question, the answer you can notice 1956 to 1963. This is the period we will call it as a second generation computers. Okay, second generation computers. So try to understand, the first generation computers are using the vacuum tubes, right? Now the second generation computers are vacuum tubes are replaced with the transistors. Okay, second generation computers are replaced vacuum tubes with the transistors, and this technological shift happened in this year 1956 to 1963. Okay, question number 29. Time sharing became possible in dash generation of computers. In which generation of computers time sharing was introduced? Option A, first generation. Option B, second generation. Option C, third generation. Option D, fourth generation. If you know the answer, you can please post your answer in the chat box. Time sharing became possible in which generation of computers? Okay, let's see the correct answer. Third generation. Option C. Third generation computers introduced operating systems and multi-programming. Remember, this is the third generation computers introduced operating systems. Okay, operating systems introduced in third generation and multi-programming. Multiple programs you can execute at the same time. So this concept is introduced in third generation, which allowed multiple users to share the system time efficiently. Okay, that is the correct option C. Okay, so let's go to the question number 30. Integrated chips, in short we will call it as IC. Integrated chips were started to be used from which generation of computers? Very simple. In which generation of computers this integrated chips, okay, are introduced? If you know the answer, you can please post your answer in the chat box. Whether it is first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation, which generation of computers started using the integrated chips? Let's see the correct answer. Third generation computers. Integrated circuits combined with many transistors on a single chip. In second generation, transistors concept is introduced, but in third generation, there will be an integrated chip. It combined multiple transistors. Okay, multiple transistors in a single chip. Okay, on a single chip. This type of technology is defined in the third generation, making computers smaller and faster. You try to understand the first generation computers, second generation computers, and now third generation computers. First generation computers are using the vacuum tubes. The second generation computers are using or introduced the transistors. Now the third generation computers using the multiple transistors on a single chip. Okay, in the third generation. Okay, question number 31. Chip is a common nickname for what? It is a nickname for transistor, resistor, integrated circuit, semiconductor. Chip is a common nickname for transistor, resistor, integrated circuit, and semiconductor. If you know the correct answer, you can please post your answer in the chat box. Let's see the correct answer. Option C, integrated circuit. Many people will say chip, right? So a chip is simply a short name for integrated circuit, which contains multiple electronic components on a small silicon plate. Okay, a small silicon plate, so which contains multiple circuits. Okay, basically this is called integrated circuit or IC, integrated circuit. The short name is chip. Okay, the correct answer is C. Question number 32. The third generation computers were made with dash biochips, transistors, integrated circuits, vacuum tubes. Hope this question is very familiar if you understood my previous explanation. Third generation computers are using the multiple transistors. Okay, multiple transistors on a single chip. Okay, on a single chip. I told this. And chip is an another name for what? Let's see the correct answer. Integrated circuits. I have explained that, right? Multiple transistors are placed in a single board. That is, we will call it as a chip. Chip is a short name for integrated circuit. Okay, no need of much explanation here. Question number 33. Integrated circuits or chips used in computers are made with dash. If you followed my explanation, this point also I covered. Integrated circuits or chips used in computers are made with what type of material? The question is about what type of material basically. Chips are made with copper, chips are made with aluminum, chips are made with gold, chips are made with silicon. So maybe everyone knows that gold is not the correct answer, right? So you need to find out of A, B, and D what is the correct answer. Chips are made with a very straightforward question. Answer is D. Chips are made with silicon. Okay, silicon is the correct answer. Let's move to the question number 34. A complete electronic circuit with transistors and other electronic components on a small silicon chip is called. This is the similar kind of question, but the question is asked in different way. The question is asked in different way. Question is almost looks like, because these are the previous type of questions. All the questions are collected from previous year question papers. Some questions looks almost same but asked in different way. That's it. Maybe you feel that questions are repeated, but the thing is the same type of questions are asked in different perspective. That is only the difference. A complete electronic circuit with transistors and other electronic components on a small silicon chip is called. The correct answer is D. Integrated circuit. An integrated circuit contains transistors, resistors, and other components fabricated together on a single silicon chip. As I told you earlier, the integrated circuit is not just with multiple transistors. It also contains resistors and other components. All are fabricated together on a single chip. Okay, that is called integrated circuit or chip. Okay, so let's move to the question number 35. PCs are personal computers. Okay, PCs are considered fourth generation and contain what? Now we are moving to the fourth generation. You see the questions are ordered in first generation, second generation, third generation. Now this question is about the fourth generation computers. PCs are considered fourth generation and contain information, data, vacuum tubes, microprocessors. So if you know the correct answer, you can please post your answer in the chat box. Okay, let's see the correct answer. Fourth generation computers are defined by the invention of microprocessors, which combines the CPU on a single chip. Okay, microprocessors is the correct answer. Let's move to the question number 36. Now, artificial intelligence is an example of which generation computer? Hope you may give the correct answer for this. Artificial intelligence, also called as AI. Artificial intelligence is an example of first generation computer, second generation computer, third generation computer, and fifth generation computer. If you know the correct answer, you can please give your answer in the chat box. So I can see some of the answers, but I request the students or learners. So you can give the question number like this 36, the answer, so that I can easily identify whether you are giving the correct answer for the correct question or not. Because if you give the question only answer C like this, so I may get doubt this answer is for which question. So I suggest please give the answer if possible. The question number I am mentioning here, question number followed by the correct answer. It will give more clarity to me also. Artificial intelligence is an example of, let's see the answer. Very easy question. The fifth generation computer. Now we are in fifth generation. Artificial intelligence is currently using in fifth generation computer. Okay, fine. So the next question, question number 37. Question number 37 is about the first computer of India is PARAM. Option B Siddhartha. Option C IBM 370. Option D Cray 1. First computer of India is. So the learners must note a point here. These questions are something like the history. Okay. The history of the computers also very important. Though you may get the questions from the latest technologies, the history also important because in the competitive examinations they are going to test whether you know the history or not. One or two questions will come from the history. Okay. If you know the correct answer for this question, you can please mention here. The first computer of India. Let's see the answer. It's also a direct question. Option B, Siddhartha. Siddhartha was the first indigenous computer developed in India, marking an important milestone in Indian computing history. Okay, very important question. Question number 38. Computer's basic architecture was developed by which scientist? He is a very popular scientist. Okay, who introduced the basic computer architecture? Who introduced the basic computer architecture? Nowadays also the same architecture we are using. Okay, same computer architecture we are using. Who is that popular scientist? Charles Babbage, you know that he is the person who developed the computer. But this is not about the person who developed the computer. Many students will give this answer, but it is incorrect. I am giving a hint here. Who developed the basic architecture? If you know the correct answer, you can please give the question number 38 the correct answer, whether it is A, B, C, D. Okay, so let's see the correct answer. John von Neumann. Okay, in short, von Neumann. Many people will call it as von Neumann. He is the scientist who invented the basic architecture. Computer architecture was developed by John von Neumann. It is also called as von Neumann architecture. Von Neumann architecture. Question number 39. Who developed the integrated chip? Okay, this question is about, we know what is an integrated chip. Multiple transistors, resistors, and other components are fabricated on a single chip, that is called integrated chip. Now the question is about who developed this integrated chip. Who developed this chip? It's a straightforward question. Let's give the answer. J.S. Kilby. Sorry, Kilby, right? J.S. Kilby. He is the scientist introduced the integrated circuit, which is like the popular technology, and nowadays also we are using many chips, right? Question number 40. Tabulating machine was the first electromechanical machine developed by which scientist? This is also about the scientist name. Okay, maybe many people are not aware of it, because we need to remember some of the scientist names in the history also. Let's give the answer directly. Hermann Hollerith. He is the person who developed the tabulating machine, which was the first electromechanical data processing machine. Electromechanical, okay, data processing machine developed by this scientist, Hermann Hollerith. So please remember these names. Who who invented this integrated chip? Who invented the computer? Who invented the computer architecture? So we have seen around four names. Computer was invented by Charles Babbage, right? Then we have seen basic computer architecture. Computer architecture was developed by von Neumann, John von Neumann, right? Then who developed the integrated chip? J.S. Kilby. Okay, J.S. Kilby. Now we have seen one more scientist who developed the tabulating machine. Okay, tabulating machine. So tabulating machine is nothing but which is using the electromechanical data processing system. Okay, it is invented by Hermann Hollerith. Okay, so this type of questions you please note down in a book, so that before the examinations it is easy for you to remember the names. If you write in somewhere, then again you may forget it. So please note down all the history kind of related questions. That will be very helpful for you revising, because the names of the scientists, always it is very difficult to remember, because it is not only the four scientist names you have to remember, right? There will be n number of scientists developed by n number of components. It will be very difficult to remember all the names also. That's why you can note in a book, okay, author name and what he invented. Okay, author name, what he invented, so that you can write all the author names and note down what is their invention, so that it will be very easy for you before the examinations. Okay, so these are all the practice questions. Okay, these are available in our website. I have given in the description, vmsclass.com, and you can see the course, computer awareness. Okay, computer awareness practice test. You can see this. I have given in the description the test link. You can please enroll to that test series. Daily practice it. So practice makes you perfect. It will improve the confidence, and also it will help you to get the good score. It will also help us to reduce the time for attempting the questions also. Okay. So thank you, friends. I will see you in the next sessions.